Hello everyone, this is the bus driver here, and this is episode 13, the Dungeon Blitz our playthrough series. We are continuing to finish off Shazari Desert Zone, where we learn more about the world's lore, and this arc of the main story, where we learned about the dragons ruling this world, and how the goblins here are actually good NPCs, and not the corrupted mobs we find in Illyria. We just now learned that the Emperor of Valhaven is not someone that we should trust, and may be the core final boss we have to face. This means we are now officially starting the final arc of the main story, which is the fight against the Empire. I wonder how the Emperor and the Kingdom of Illyria, and that is the King of Illyria, are related, and if we have some relationship to that as the hero. As you see, I am going to grind some gold and other resources so I can upgrade my home. That way I can defeat the mobs easier. I know it will be much difficult to beat these dungeons starting now that we are at the final arc of the story. The bosses are much more intelligent and wicked, so we need to prepare for all the resources we can get. My pets should be easy to level up. I do need to upgrade the hatchery at some point to upgrade my skeleton pet for X bonus, as well as the other pets I have in my storage. I am going to grind loot, as well as go back to the older dungeons, in hopes to get the rare forms of my equipment I so desire. This will take a long while, so I will do the favor of grinding off camera. I will see you guys once I am ready to continue. Until then, stay put. You won't notice a difference because it is all done off camera, but rest assured I have put the effort to get there. With all the bonuses I have, it should be a breeze. See you guys then. Alright, I am back after a while. I have leveled up to 28 from 26 since, and I have also gotten a lot of gold. I have used pretty much all of it on upgrading my forge to level 5, Tomb of Power for my skills to level 4, so I can rank up my skills to rank 4, and also upgraded my talent point area and hatchery. I did use a big portion of my idols to speed up the process, so forgive me if that irks you if you were a free-to-play player. I did go back to previous zones and grinded the dungeons that dropped the loot I currently have that is now converted to rare. It is important, so I have more bonuses and increased stats. I also got some potions from the silver shop that increases exp and gear percentage. I have used other potions for gold and material bonuses too. I will equip Triple Strike rank 4 because of my rare sword I got gives bonus Triple Strike. I do enjoy this primary skill more than the Poison Dot due to having purely more damage per strike. I will also equip a different secondary skill called the Flurry of Daggers. I have not used this that much, but I have decided to rank it up to 4 because I believe it will help me with the flying targets. I also enjoy the poison effect, it has X3. I will use an EXP bonus potion so I can get more EXP to level up quicker. They do run out much quicker now that the mobs are stronger and there are more of them per dungeon. I do enjoy the new mobs here and how different they are from the ones in the Kingdom of Illyria, which consists of the other zones we went through. Honestly, it makes a fresh new start despite us being 13 episodes in. I did go back to previous zones and grinded the dungeons that dropped the loot I currently have that is now converted to rare. It is important, so I have more bonuses and increased stats. I also got some potions from the silver shop that increases exp and gear percentage. I have used other potions for gold and material bonuses too. The mini rogues we see here are really annoying. It is also important to note these new mage mobs can spawn them, which is a new skill set we have not seen from the other mobs. I remember we started with skeleton mages that CNA either freeze you or flame you, then we had entanglement effects, more freezing, and then we would slow down affects. Now we have the ability to spawn other mob mage class mobs. Really annoying, but nice variety. The mini rogues we see here are really annoying. It is also important to note these new mage mobs can spawn them, which is a new skill set we have not seen from the other mobs. I remember we started with skeleton mages that CNA either freeze you or flame you, then we had entanglement effects, more freezing, and then we had slowed down affects. Now we have the ability to spawn other mob mage class mobs. Really annoying, but nice variety. The mobs in this dungeon are so bizarre and different. Honestly, like the take of having this different elements in mob designs in general. I think the pair of worms with the paladin class, for example, demonstrates key understanding of the dungeon crawling experience. For example, the worms are low-level damages, but together can be annoying as the damage stacks up. The paladin tanks well, doing quite a large amount of damage despite slower attack rates. Together, it is a strong sink of energy. However, on the bright side, we the player can slay the weaker small worms to gain red potions and heal, while we can take some more time to slay the paladin class mob. Pretty cool, huh? I see. Oh, looks like we have to jump down. Oh no. While we are done, and looks like we have finished the main story of Shazari Desert. I don't remember it being this little, but my best guess is the other dungeons are from the side quest stories in this zone, not the main story, which is our focus. I will get to them later, much like most of the other zones. So we now will head on to the final zone of the game, Valhaven. Oh, look at Titus we met before in Castle Hock. Cool to see him here. I guess we don't really talk much. Looks like we must clear out the zone much like we did when we had to clear out the goblins for our home. This is great pullback nostalgia. I like it. And yes, I know, because I remember playing this dungeon in particular. Good recall memory, huh? Once more, a lot of new enemies that we have not seen. Although, the mini-rogue imps are still kicking it in Valhaven from Shazari Desert. That kind of ticks me off. I know they are annoying in the other Dread version too. Speaking of Valhaven and the Arc of the Empire, I would like to talk about the Imperia and the dominance it holds as the final part of Dungeon Blitz. When you structure a dungeon crawler around an emperor and his empire, you aren't just giving the player a big monster to slay at the end of a cave. You are setting up a clash against an entire civilization's worth of power, wealth, and organized military might. An empire represents the absolute pinnacle of a story arc because it scales the conflict from a local fantasy problem into a massive, world-altering war. The emperor isn't just strong because of his individual magic or blade. He is terrifying because he commands the resources, the armies, and the very architecture of the world you are trying to navigate. Here is how an emperor and his imperial war machine can serve as the definitive, ultimate arc of a dungeon game. 1. The power of absolute organization. Most dungeon factions are chaotic, goblins fighting for scrap, wild raptors hunting for food, or elemental fire mobs acting on pure volatile instinct. An empire breaks this trend by introducing terrifying, flawless discipline. The living phalanx. Imperial dungeons aren't filled with mindless mobs waiting in rooms to be pulled one by one. You are invading heavily fortified garrisons, supply lines, and grand throne rooms. The tactical AI shock. Imperial soldier mobs fight with peak synergy. Heavy shield bearers form a literal wall to protect high-tier battlefield mages, while highly disciplined stealth assassins flank your backline the moment you engage. The game forces you to treat every single corridor like a high-stakes tactical chess match. 2. The architectural descent, invading the heart of power. Because you are dismantling an empire, the continuous progression through the dungeons carries immense structural and visual weight. The outposts, the surface. You start by breaking through outer-border forts and conquered regions, dealing with regional governors or traitorous lords. The Imperial Highway, the mid-ground. You descend into underground aqueducts, massive hidden armories, and gold-minting vaults that fuel the Emperor's war budget. The capital citadel, the Deep. The final dungeons lead you directly into the opulent, terrifying heart of the Empire. Marble-carved underground palaces, grand senate floors, and elite royal barracks. By the time you reach the final gate, you have physically traversed the entire hierarchy of a civilization. Once more, a lot of new enemies that we have not seen, although the mini-rogue imps are still kicking it in Valhaven from Shazari Desert. That kind of ticks me off. I know they are annoying in the other Dread version too. Well, I did tell you guys that the bosses get more intelligent and stronger. Here is proof. The boss can heal now while I have to destroy his minions. Talk about fancy cheats by the game itself, Jar Jar Jar. Well, I did tell you guys that the bosses get more intelligent and stronger. Here is proof. The boss can heal now while I have to destroy his minions. Talk about fancy cheats by the game itself, Jar Jar Jar. However, I am the Kraken Slayer, the Mailer Crasher, and the Nephit Beater. I don't think anyone can stop me, Achaia Saber, not even the Imperia. Looks like we are on our way to fighting the Hires up all the way to the Imperia. Man, is this going to get even more difficult? I can just feel it. Anyhow, I think I will end this episode here. I know this one has been a bit shorter on the line, but I want to start the next episode fresh and ready for the next dungeons. That means I might start grinding a couple things off camera to get ready for the final dungeons and make it a success. I hope you all enjoyed this one, and until next time, keep on dungeon hunting. See you guys soon.